What up, y'all? I found my mask. Hey, it's freezing out here, y'all. But I wanted to talk about Melissa Ford and Joy Reid, and I want to talk about like the differences between an old hoe and a young hoe. And people say 304, whatever. Like, they hoes. All right. Melissa Ford is a nasty piece of work, y'all. She did a little interview, or where she was talking about herself, if that's what you want to call it, whatever. And she called herself the cat lady. She talks about how she's 48, single, and she doesn't have any regrets. That's bullshit. I'll tell you why. I'm a year older than her. I'm 49. Shit, I'm married. I'm doing everything pretty good. Shit, I cannot complain. And I got regrets. So somebody who's lived their life like you, like she did, I know she got regrets. Now, she went to talk about how she got engaged 2.5 times. I don't know why it's not either 2 or 3. I don't know. But she said the first engagement, the dude everybody liked, family liked, friends liked, everybody loved him. But she just didn't want to get married. She felt like it was suffocating. So he treated her good. She couldn't even really come up with a good reason why she didn't want the man. Boom. She breaks up with him. Then she finds another dude. She's engaged. She talks about how much she loved him. But he treated her bad. He was a piece of shit, like the way she describes it. Then the last dude was the one that really is crazy. So he was a sucker, like a whole sucker for love. But he asked her fantasy, and do you know this ratchet, nasty whore told him that her fantasy was to have a threesome with his friend. And this clown, this retard, asked her if she wanted him to make it happen. Now she claims she said no. I don't believe her. I don't believe her. I believe a bitch like her would love to see a man in that position. Like she wanna see, that's what she want. She took that. You can't tell me she didn't. Now, she talks about how she don't have no regrets. She talks about how she said, not in this interview, this was some shit on X recently. She said marriage is the lowest form of pay to play, and women should get reparations from men. This shit is crazy. And what's crazy is that women are following this shit. They're listening to her. She is an old whore giving out relationship advice and trying to tell women they should live like she do. What she's not telling them is when you get a certain age, yo, especially around the age she is, oh, do you start wanting help? Because shit is different. On top of the fact, the average woman is not gonna make a certain amount of money that like she might make. And I personally don't think her bank account is too chunky. But most women and most people, but most like women, once they get a certain age, they need help. But she looks down on marriage. She talks about how women sacrifice so much in marriage. They get the shitty end of the deal. What do you sacrifice in comparison to men? Men literally sacrifice our bodies to take care of our families. We do everything necessary, from sacrificing our lives to take care of our families and provide. especially when it's to the degree that your wife might not have to, she don't even have to work. A lot of wives don't have to work. Where do you think that's coming from? This is why a woman like her can't have a child, because you gotta sacrifice too much. Like, asking somebody like that to sacrifice something is just too much, because it's always about her. Being a man is about sacrifice, and it's about making sure that people around you are good and everybody's fed. She can't do that. Most of these women can't do that. Shit, these bitches can't go 50-50. So you know they ain't sacrificing shit for nobody but themselves. Now, when it comes to Miss Joy Taylor, like, these women, so many women, right? They sleep their way to the top, just like she has, right? And then what's the scary part is, she said if any of this shit get blown up, she gonna say that they forced her to do it. We have watched women on camera do this shit. Like that white cop that was sleeping with all those other officers, and then she spent it around on them talking about they made her do it. When you look at the woman on tape and look at this type of shit she was doing, nah, you didn't get forced into nothing. That's who you are. But it's crazy how they could just flip the switch and everybody believe them. So which one is it? Are you this deer in headlights that just can't say no because you get pressured into so much? Or are you strong enough and smart enough to run a country like quote unquote Kamala Harris? Which one is it? Because you can't be both. And that's the crazy part. That's why it's going to get to the point where men won't even hire women. Because if you ask me, women don't belong in certain workplaces, certain work environments. Women shouldn't be there. But the government made it like this on purpose to take women out the house so they're not where they should be, in the house with the babies, keeping a home, making sure that these kids get brought up right. Because when you allow the government to raise your child starts thinking that there's more sexes than two. They start thinking, oh, it's 74 different, or however many they want now. But we not going with that dumb shit. You cannot allow the government to raise your kids, regardless of how much you might have to work. And that's pretty much it, man. I wanted this to be a short one. Stop trusting these bros. I ain't saying all women like that, cause shit, I've been with my wife for 32 years. But stop trusting these bitches. Make her show you that she's trustworthy. I could do a video on that if you guys would like to see it, you know? Cause I used to be a Chad, but I ended up being a pretty good guy, you know? But one thing, I ain't never let no broad get over on me, yo. Like, I don't come from that ever, yo. And I'm glad you young men are waking up to that. Because there was a lot of suckers in my day. Peace.